How's it going, team? I'm Corey. Thanks for stopping by. We're gonna do some Rust WASM coding today. So we have this. Oh, sorry, I have a sneeze that wants to come out. 1 second. All better. So probably a week ago now, I think we started this mood board app. So my wife had the idea of an app that we can use to like help get on the same board for mood boards for design clients that she has. So the idea is that like she'll create a Pinterest board of images that she likes, and maybe a board of images she doesn't like, just to have the variety. And then this app will show them to a client in a random order, and the client will be thumbs upping and thumbs downing them. And then it'll help to make sure that, the client and the designer are on the same page and make a mood board that everyone's happy with. So that's going to be the plan. Hey, Opus, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. So we're going to do some WASM today. So we have, this is the repo here. We got a front end and a server, and our front end is a WASM compiled application. And actually, let's just pull this up in my editor instead of looking at it on GitHub. Oh, I wanted background music, and I stopped it. Let's get some background music again. Better. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, as always, let me know how the music is, but we're gonna get going. So actually, this is the perfect place to start. Let's just start the plan doc of what we did last time and what we're gonna do this time. So last time, we got a basic layout of pictures with rating buttons, and clicking on either rating button will change the picture. So we got all the WASM setup taken care of, so we're ready to start building our app a bit. And we got some basic attributes working for clicking on a button and replacing the specified ID with the contents of a get. Yo, how's it going, Lucia? I'm gonna go with that pronunciation for stream right now, but let me know if that's wrong, either now or in Discord later. Actually, I really need to get our Byte chatbot working again, and you can enter your nicknames there. But Byte's been down for a few streams, so I need to bring him back, but I haven't had time for that one yet. So let's take a look at our front end here. Actually, before we do that, let's get everything running. Awesome. So we can take a look at our app at the moment. It's on localhost 3000, and these are just some random images that we threw in for testing last time. But if you click this next image button, there we go. It will change the image, but there's only like 5 of them, so you sometimes get the same image again, just because there's not that many options to choose from at the moment. But it is working. And if we head over to our front end, actually, let's go to our server app here. So this is the root. So we call this handler method. It picks a random an image to start with, and then it renders some HTML. So we just get the hello from Rust, and we render our image. We give it this ID of replaceable image, which we will refer to in a second. And then we have this button that says next image. And these CJA attributes are kind of the magic that's tying our backend and our front end together. So we have CJA, that's just the prefix we're using for everything. So CJA click means that when you click this, we're gonna use this URL. Method means the method for this click is gonna be a get. And what we're gonna do with that is we're gonna replace the ID at replaceable image. So whatever you get back from this endpoint, you're going to replace the ID of replaceable image. So that if we look at our random image endpoint, random image, and this is just an inline one because it's what we were feeling at the moment, we do the same, picking a random image URL, and then we return some HTML, but really small HTML. The whole HTML that we return is just this image tag, so that we can just shove it into the correct spot. So the CJAs down here are just different HTML attributes. So if we look at them in the inspector over here, you can see they just come up just like they do in my editor. So they're not classes and they're not IDs, but they're other attributes. Kind of like how image has the source attribute, we're just giving these buttons different attributes. And these are non-standard attributes, so there's no, I think the best practice way might be to call all of these data attributes, because data attributes are in HTML like part of the standard. I don't like W3 schools, let's go with Mozilla. So I could be using data ones. I think that would probably be best practice. Data Data attributes allows you to store extra information on standard semantic HTML elements without other hacks such as non-standard attributes or extra properties on the DOM. So we're doing the non-standard attributes, which work pretty much in all the browsers that I've seen. So I don't think we'll have any problems, but we could always go with data attributes to be a little more standard compliant. And data attributes are just ones that start with data. So we could do data CJA and then all of our things if we wanted to. But instead, at the moment, we're just going to do CJA as our little prefix here, just to keep it a little shorter. So yeah, so right now, all we can do is click to get a random image, and that's about it. So I think one of the things that we're going to need to do pretty quickly here is get some kind of database that we can start using so that we can actually save some responses here. And I don't know how I want to do a database. The two options that I have in my mind are we can do a SQLite database. That's probably what I'm going to go with, I guess. We've been doing SQLite databases for things for a little while now on my streams. I like SQLite instead of managing a completely separate database. So I think we might do that. The other option is to do a managed database. I've been liking Neon for managed Postgres databases, so that would be a little easier, just like a one click on their web UI to spin up a database. But I think we're gonna go SQLite. I've been enjoying the SQLite land and the SQLite tooling, so I think let's go ahead and do that. So before we get started, let's take a look at our plan doc again and things that we want to do. We'll store the ratings for the picture. Yeah, so basically what that means is we have another task above it that's like, create a SQLite database. Yeah, we're just gonna do that for the moment. So how do we create a SQLite database? Well, SQLites are just files on disk, so creating the database is the easy part. I just have to wire up my app to understand it. Oh, and the other thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna need to get this app deployed. Deploy this app somewhere. I write this now because it came to mind, but also because it kind of relates to how we do the SQLite database. We'll probably deploy to fly.io. It's what I've been using recently, and I know how to use their volumes and stuff to keep a basically a consistent file that we can use as our database, even across deploys and stuff. So we will do that. We're probably gonna have it we'll like just write it to a temp directory at first that gets blown away every time. But then we will, and actually let's just write this out. Make sure SQLite DB is persisted across deploys. And then I think what we'll do eventually, and I might reorder these tasks and we might not do all of these today, add lightfs to replicate the DB across multiple, I'm going to call them containers, because that's closer to how I think about them. They are servers, but they're containers. So if you haven't heard of lightfs, you might have seen it on some past streams of mine, but if not, it's by the people who make fly.io, so it fits nicely into their infrastructure, and it's implemented as a Fuse-based file system, but that's not super important to us. What it does is it replicates SQLite databases across a cluster of machines. So basically, you can have a SQLite database and have multiple containers that all share the SQLite database. By default, it has there be one write node that can write and everyone else can read from the database. We're probably going to mess with that a little bit and use their... they have a special bit you can set that we've played with on a previous stream that lets you write from any node in the cluster, and it's a bit slower, but I think for our use cases it'll be fine. Or we'll just go with what they want you to do, which is proxy all of your write requests to the special node that knows how to do that. And we might not even need multiple containers for this app. It's going to be pretty lightweight. It probably can get away with just having a single container and not being like redundant and stuff. So yeah, we'll leave this here. I'm going to put this at the bottom though. I don't think it's that important. Update the plan as we get started. Okay, so let's work on a SQLite database. So we're going to go to our server. And I like SQLX for Rust. Is this the one I wanted? Yeah, this is the one I wanted. So SQLX has compile time checked queries. So you write queries in, well, that's a very boring example, but you write queries in raw SQL like this. And we're gonna use the query bang macro, which none of these are. There we go. We're gonna use the query bang macro like this. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna check that this SQL matches our database schema at compile time, which is pretty cool. It kind of fits really nicely in, like, not quite an ORM, but gives me a little more like safety. So it feels really nice for the kind of stuff that I've been working on recently. So we're gonna go with SQLX and get some compile time verification stood up. So we want to do Tokyo and Rust LS. So we want this one. And we're going to want to do SQLite, which I think needs its own feature flag. Yes, it does. So that's totally easy. We're going to go to our cargo toml file in the server and add SQLX. And the other one is SQLite. Awesome. Cargo builds, just to make sure that everything still builds. Ooh, and we're gonna fix those warnings while we're here. How is everyone's November going? We just got started here. I'm actually, Twitch was reminding me that November is my affiliate birthday. I got affiliate status just about a year ago in November, and it's been a fun time streaming. So yeah, no, it's fun to see it be a whole year. So let's go and fix this warning at the top. It's telling me, this one. Some crates are on edition 2021, which results to resolver 2, but the virtual workspace is default to resolver 1. So since we have a workspace in our top level here, how we're gonna fix this is we're gonna set the resolver to 2, because that's what the edition 2021 defaults to. And hopefully both of mine, edition 2021 and edition 2021, awesome. Both of our packages are running on edition 2021. So we just want the resolver to also, or we want the workspace resolver to match so everything's running on the same version just for consistency. It makes everything a little easier. Awesome. And then I think we just have this one. Oops. Let's go cargo clippy. All targets. Make sure that there's not any other warnings hanging out. Just might as well while we're here. Awesome. Add SQLX, remove warnings. Awesome. Okay. So now we have SQLX. Now let's like set it up. So let's take one of their examples just because it should be easy. We should be able to find a SQLite one. SQLite to-dos, that'll work for me. Okay, so perfect. It's actually pretty simple to set up. So we need a SQLite pool, and they just grab an environment variable from they just grab an environment variable directly, and is that what we're gonna do too? I think so. I think we're gonna do that. But one thing I'm noticing is we don't have any good error handling at all. So we're gonna take a detour and do that while we're here. The reason I say that is our main doesn't return anything right now. And usually I have it return a result of something. But the fact that it's not returning anything, oh, we do have might already. Okay, cool. So this is a little easier than I thought it could be. A result of nothing. If this isn't any result, it's gonna be a might result. And now I'm closer. Now I just have to into diagnostic these to convert them. Can only be used in an async block that returns result or option. Well, this does, doesn't it? Is it just mad that the return type at the bottom wasn't right? Yes. So we're using, ooh, wait, I pronounced it wrong. It's Mayet. This is pronounced Mayet. I remember, someone last stream corrected me, so thank you. I don't remember who that was, unfortunately, but thank you if that was you. So Mayet, is our error thing. It has this result alias that, locks the error type to report, which is nice. and into diagnostic can convert errors into that report type for us. And it has some nice error reporting. So that's what that was all about. Okay, so we're gonna grab the database pool. That was nice and easy. And then I think what we're gonna wanna do here is we're gonna wanna make, actually, let's put it in the root here, touch.mrc. Yep. And then in here, we're gonna export database URL equals not that SQLite, yep, except print working directory. Yep, so we're gonna do the full path. So I use durenv and nvarc files so that I can put secrets without committing them. So that's part of that. Gotta add the nvarc file to get ignore. Perfect, so now it's grayed out and won't be committed. So I put secrety like things here. Database URL in this case isn't really a secret, it's just a path. But it's still, I put them in the same spot. And then we have durenv here to give us the database URL in the CLI and everything. Okay, so now we should at least be able to cargo run. And actually, is that going to run the server for us? What is that going to run? Let's find out. Oh, probably because our front end is a library, not a runnable thing. And this is a good note that I forgot. If you're looking for fancy error reports, install Mayet with the fancy feature. So actually, we can do this. Cargo add Mayet, and like that, and then feature fancy. So this is just going to add to the Mayet thing and add the fancy feature for us. And now, if we do cargo run again, we should get slightly nicer error reports. Actually, a lot nicer error reports, really. Yeah, we get some nice colors, some nice ASCII, an error returned from database unable to open database file. So I think what that means is that it wants me to do this. It wants me to create the file for it. Oh yeah, well that's pretty fair. That's a whole database URL, not just a file path. And so did it just need the file to exist? Yeah, it just needed the file to exist. So that's slightly annoying. I'd kind of like it to create this if it doesn't exist. So what I've actually done in the past is I've created a DB path. Let's do it this way. So what I've done is instead of database URL, I've done database path. Got into diagnostic, unwrap it. It's not unwrapping. We're doing question mark to return an error if we don't have it. And then so create I want it like a Rust create empty file. Like I really wanted there just to be a slightly easier way to do this, but I had to quickly create an empty file. There's no support for sparse files. Okay, we're just gonna do a create file. It's not that hard. It's just this. Okay. File.create.into diagnostic. So this is going to be db path, reference to it, import file. Oh yeah, let's use a Tokyo file. No reason not to. Just create, then return a feature. Yep. Because it's Tokyo, now we have to await it, but that's totally fine. So now let db URL equals 4. Perfect. Oh, so now we make it a SQLite style database URL. rm db.sqlite. Ergo run. Let's see it make that file for us. Oh, environment variable not found. Oh, yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Path, and get rid of the SQLite stuff at the beginning. And allow. Perfect. echo database path. Love it. Cargo run. Oh, there we go. And it made our database file. Love it. Let's add that to get ignored too. Let's actually do any SQLite 3 file. And I don't really need SQLite 3. That's just Copilot decided that that's what we wanted. So that's what we'll do for now. Awesome. Okay, so we have a database now. Love it. Oh, here's the other thing that's slightly annoying, but it's okay. And actually, we're going to do it in our embrc file. We actually need a database URL exported as well because we're going to use the SQLX CLI in just a moment. I'm not sure which one of these is a better link. Lucia said, want that to create the file every time it runs, and if it creates only if the file does not exist. No, I think you're right. It might actually even error if I run it again. I actually thought it might error. Let's investigate a little bit. Oh, look at that. This function will create a file if it does not exist and will truncate it if it does. So that's not really what we want, but it at least isn't erroring. But no, that's a really good point. That's not what I wanted at all. So I want like if file, can I just do like a, well, so I can open it, but I don't know if I want to do that. But that might be what I want. Okay, let's try open instead. Oh, I wanted the docs for open. Let's hover over it for the docs. So attempts to open a file in read-only mode. Yeah, but I want open options, I think. Yeah, okay, so I want to do an open with open options, more like this. There is something that checks if the path exists. I don't remember it correctly. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do something similar, but not exactly the same. I think... I think I can do this. Open options, we can import it. We're going to do the Tokyo one again. I forgot about that, but that's totally fine. Into diagnostic. So actually, we don't even really need read or write. We just want to create it. So I think what I can do now is just do this. And I actually don't even need to save the file. I just want to open it. This option indicates whether a new file will be created if the file does not already exist. In order for the file to be created, write or append must be. Okay, cool. So we need to give it write access to the file as well. So I think this is going to do it. Open options will create it if it doesn't exist, but if it does exist, it'll just open it. And then we're just going to throw away the file because we don't actually need it. We just needed to make sure the file exists. So I think this will do what we want, but as we get going writing to the database, we'll come back and make sure that it's keeping our database for us and not deleting it every time. Because it would not be great to be deleting it every time. Awesome. Okay, so I think we've got, let's see, can we cargo run this? Does it work? Awesome. Actually, let's try this out. SQLite, and then db SQLite 3. Is it SQLite 3? There we go. Okay. Create table test. I don't actually SQLite create table. Where's an example? I just need an example. Cool. There's a column X that is an integer. Insert into, wait. Wow, it's so funny that like I need to Google these all the time. Because like you'd think I would know the insert into table. Yeah, okay. Insert into X, and then you, oh no, it's test. The column is X, values is like 2. select star from test. Yay, okay. Exit out of that. Let's do cargo run again. Awesome. Exit out of it. Go into the thing. Yay, awesome. Okay, so our database is still there after all that. But now I want to delete it because I didn't want that test table or anything like that. Cargo run, let's make the database again. Yay, now we have an empty database. Awesome. Okay. So, what do we want to do now? Now we have a database, and we have our pool that can like write to the database. We're gonna need to do some migration-y stuff. So we're gonna actually, I probably have the SQLite CLI installed. Yes. 071, is that like the latest version? SQLite CLI over here, 072, so we're close. So we're going to install this with Rust TLS, and I'm actually not sure if I need to do this again, but it's okay. SQLite. So we'll get a newer version of this. Don't know what they fixed in that patch release, but always good to upgrade. So SQLite through their CLI thing does provide some decent support for migrations, and that's what we're going to mess with in a moment. So we can do... Oh, so it actually lets you like create the database and stuff, but we're going to do adding migrations. So I actually wonder if like we could... No, because I don't really want the SQLite CLI in prod. My question was, do I need to do the create file thing in my Rust code, or could I use the CLI for that? And I don't think I want to install the SQLite CLI on the containers that we end up deploying our app with, so it's better to keep what we have. But now I can do SQLite. Actually, I can do cargo SQLite. Migration init. I thought there was an init. Is there no init here? We're just gonna do migration add. Oh, it's migrate. I see. You can just sort it to mig. Apparently. Is there an init? No. Add, run, revert, info, build script. Oh yeah, well we do want that. I forgot about that. But let's get it set up. So, this is generated by, obviously it's the comment there, and we just generated it with the CLI, but basically what this is doing is it's going to tell cargo to rerun if anything in the migrations directory changed, so that it it doesn't keep cached things around when we add new migrations, because the migrations are going to be included in our executable, so like they're going to be part of the build, but we need to tell that to cargo so it knows to pick them up. So that's that, and then let's add a database, or let's add a migration. And actually, now we need to like think about what we have here. We're gonna need to data model this a little bit. So let's take just a second and hop over to Excalibur. Sign in. Perfect. Let's make a new one. Let's make a new collection for mood board. And then let's make a new scene for data model. So I like Excalibur just as a drawing tool, and we're gonna use it just to create some like little boxes here and some of that. So like this. Okay, so what are the things that we have? And we're just gonna start going here. So like we have two types of users here that we're gonna end up wanting. We have like a designer, and we have a client group. Perfect. So we have a client and we have a designer, and both of these are the users that can log in, but they're pretty different, and so I think we want to model them. And I think how we're going to want it to work is clients, like they're not going to log in. So like they're gonna have more of like an anonymous login type of structure, I think. Anonymous login. Like you're gonna, as a designer, you're gonna send like a link to a client that's gonna have some nice long query param or something at the end, and that's just gonna log in the client kind of automatically, so they don't need to do anything. But that means that a designer is gonna have many of these. So like, designer has many clients. I could do like the 1 to n thingy. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So there's n clients for one designer. Oops, not that big. Okay, we'll keep it like that. But we also need some other models here. We probably need like a mood board object, mood board. And this is gonna have like the Pinterest board IDs. Like this is gonna know the Pinterest boards. And it might even be that like this is kind of the join table between a client and a designer. So I'm actually not 100% sure if this link will exist. Conceptually, a designer will have many clients, but I'm not positive if it's going to be a direct link like we diagrammed here. We're going to keep going, and we're just going to keep pushing this around and see where we end up. So there's a good chance things are going to change. But I'm going to brainstorm on this while I read some chats. Opus says, for some reason, FASM, I don't think we were supposed to pronounce that FASM, doesn't like my generated ASM. Spent 30 minutes debugging a seg fault that magically fixed by switching to a different assembler and syntax. Oh, so is FSM a assembler / syntax? I'm not super familiar with that low level of stuff. But it's always annoying when like something, you just switch tools or whatever and everything starts working for you. But you know, I guess it's better that it is working, but still. Okay, so like, let's make another arrow, because designers definitely have multiple mood boards. No, and a mood board is only owned by one designer. I guess I would eventually, maybe I want teams, because like maybe I want an account and my wife Brandy wants an account, so we might end up with like teams somewhere in here, but we'll start with this. And then off of mood board here, we probably have like picture rating or something. Actually, let's just copy this block because it'll be easier. So then this probably has like picture rating. A picture rating. And so like, this has something about a picture ID, like Pinterest picture ID probably. Like I said at the very beginning, I requested access for the Pinterest API, but we don't have it yet, so we're not going to dig into the API too much, and we're just gonna see what if they like it, you know what I mean? So we're gonna need the rating here, the Pinterest picture, and like it needs to know who did it, so client ID. And like maybe we actually want multiple clients on a mood board too. Oof. Okay, yeah, see there's like, we might want multiple designers and multiple clients, so this might get interesting. But we definitely can do this part. Like there's from a mood board, you can have many picture ratings, but a picture rating only exists to a single mood board. Okay, yeah, let me take another break and do some chats. I like reading chats. Opus says, yeah, WASM has a really nice syntax, so I was hoping to use it. Wrote a trivial HTTP server in it yesterday, and it doesn't like negative numbers. Oops. Wow, it doesn't like negative numbers. That's surprising. Are you supposed to like do the like 2's complement or whatever type of negation yourself then, and it only understands the positive number variant? That's super interesting. And it's also pretty impressive to write a trivial HTTP server in assembly. That's just pretty fun. You'll have to share that if you have that assembly code for that trivial web server somewhere. I'd love to take a peek. just because that sounds like a fun one. Okay, so the people aspect, this part, I'm not sure about yet. Designers might want design team. There might be a design team. Like maybe this is just design team. Maybe that's even just the easy way to do this. And there might be multiple designers branched off of this. Design teams have clients. Yeah, that works for me. And then a client, actually probably, no. This might actually be where we have like in foreign key kind of relations. Maybe this has a mood board ID. Is a client specific to a mood board? That's an interesting question. I don't know yet. We'll see how we want that to flow. But I think this is where we're gonna start today. We're gonna make a mood board table, and then we'll make a picture rating table. We'll associate them together, and go from there. We're not gonna worry about the associations to client and designer yet. It's just gonna be okay. And we don't know about the Pinterest board IDs, so like we're just gonna. Yeah, mood board's gonna be pretty simple, basically, at the moment. And then picture rating will be a little more, it'll be like URL based at the moment. We'll move it to Pinterest IDs when we get there. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty simple. We actually might get client involved sooner because we need this whole anonymous login stuff. And that seems like a fun problem to work on today. So we might do that too. Okay, but I'm actually gonna take a peek at some assembly. But I can't promise I'm going to actually be able to understand the assembly. So this is Opus from Twitch Chat's web server in assembly. So this is, I think, using the FASM. I'm just going to call it WASM because it sounds fun. The WASM assembly language. And this is way shorter than I thought. We're at 150 lines. That's not bad at all. So... yeah, this is a very readable assembly. Wow. Like, I can't actually read, like, I know what a jump is, and I know what a move is, but I don't actually know how to, like, read all of this. But this is very readable for the most part. And here you can see this is basically just a hard-coded HTTP response, which makes a ton of sense for something like this. Yeah, right? I thought we'd be, like, even for a simple HTTP server with like essentially a hard-coded thing, I thought we'd be easily 10 times, yeah, 1,000-ish lines or something like that. That's pretty awesome. So it's basically just opening a socket. I'm not sure that's the right line, but it opens a socket, and yep, that's about all I got. But it opens the socket. It knows how to respond with this when requests are made. Oh, handle request. Oh yeah, because I was only looking at this one segment. So like handle request knows to accept a socket, and then do some cool stuff. Yeah, so Linux write, it's gonna write the page content and the length to the client file descriptor. I'm assuming that's like kind of created from the socket somehow. Like this is where we must be writing back the response. Then we jump to handle request. Oh wait, so that's a loop. Interesting. Cool, cool, cool. Nice. The macros WASM provides makes it super nice to do repeating syscalls. Yeah, well, and so are these like macros that it provides, kind of, right? Like Linux accept isn't something I would have. Oh, just read from the top of the file down instead of the bottom of the file up. And you'd answer your own questions, Corey. Got it. You defined all these macros. That makes so much more sense. Like Linux listen is not something they're providing as assembly, because that would be kind of like, you know, a weird like thing for assembly to do. Just because it's so low level, I didn't expect it to provide much, but it's not. You're just doing it, and and how you described it is you're just like wrapping the syscalls basically and do them repeated style. That's really nifty. You just set up all your registers and then call syscall at the end of all these. Love that. Opus says, I wanted to serve my site with it, but it has multiple pages and I don't feel like adding actual routing. Yeah, no, that's pretty fair. I can understand not wanting to add actual routing to this, especially because, like, you know, even a simple site, but routing can get very complex very quick. So I could see that becoming a sprawling problem. Maybe with routing though, we'd get up to that 1,000 lines plus that me and Lucia were expecting. This is awesome though. Maybe we'll do some assembly on stream at some point, but we're gonna stick with the Rust that I know a little better for now. Okay, so we need a mood board and we need picture rating. Those are gonna be our two models that we want to create. So let's create a mood board table first. Mood board table. And then yeah, I did know that I can embed migrations in my binary, and I'm absolutely going to do that. So once we have our database pool, we can call migrate. Oh, and then we have to tell it where migrations live, which makes sense. Rust won't pick up new migrations if no source code has changed. Yeah, that's fine. And I think what needs to go here, this has always been a little bit of an interesting point for me, because I do things with workspaces pretty much all the time. And I did get it right this time. Awesome. So I do things with workspaces. So I have multiple Rust crates in my directory here with a cargo.toml at the root that points to each of them. And I want my migrations to live at the top level. Or I have in the past, and I think I'm going to here, because I don't want multiple databases in my project. There's just one, and it like could go in server because server is the only thing that's going to touch it. But sometimes I've had different crates that all want to talk to the database, and it kind of makes sense to be at the workspace level, which is awesome, and that's what the CLI helped me create initially. But that means when I go to like run the migrations, I need to step out a path to get to the workspace to do the migrations. And yeah, and actually, this might not work. Build.rs in workspace. I don't think you can have a build.rs in the workspace root. Allow build script in a virtual. Okay, so it's open. Yeah, so there's this doesn't work at the moment, and it seems like that might be a difficult one. And so this is actually another thing that I've run into before. I'm not sure if this is gonna work amazing. Because now I need this to be an out directory. So it needs to look out of server to find the migrations directory. And I'm not sure if that's going to work great, but we're going to just run with it for now. And if anyone knows SQLX and can tell me if this is the right way, please leave me a Twitch chat or a YouTube comment below and let me know. Because I love learning new things. And if you have any neat tricks for this, for SQLX in workspaces specifically, please let me know. But this is going to work for now, I think. We have a migration that needs to actually do something. So let's do like a create table. Create table. We're going to call this mood board. Mood boards, plural. And what does it need? Awesome. Let's see. An ID, int, not null, auto increment. That'll work for me. Has a name that's not null and a description that's not null. I don't think I need that. And I want primary key ID. I forget how primary keys work well in SQLite, so we're gonna Google this really quickly. Opus says, that's what I did. You can't have workspace global build scripts yet, and it's sad. And it does make sense that you can't, right? Because like it is a little confusing what it would do. Like if you just tried to compile one thing in the workspace, would you expect it to call the build script or not? I don't know if I have an amazing answer to that. But so yeah, I don't really know. Integer not null primary key. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Primary key. Trailing commas? It looks like no trailing commas. Yeah, okay, so primary key and row ID. When you create a table without specifying without row ID, SQLite adds an implicit column named row ID that stores a 64-bit signed integer. The row ID column is a key that uniquely identifies rows in the table. Tables that have row ID columns are called row ID tables. Okay. If a table has a primary key that consists of one column and that column is defined as integer, then this primary key column becomes an alias for row ID. Notice if you assign another integer type such as big int or unsigned int to a primary key column, this column will not be used as an alias. Okay, so we want int or integer maybe, because that's what SQLite likes. I think I want to get rid of auto increment. I think it knows it's going to be the primary key. It's going to mirror row ID like we just said, and everything will work great here. Opus says, though in larger projects, I generally make a DB library for my other projects, so the migrations would be DB migrations, which makes it a tad nicer, but you probably don't want or need that, LOL. Oh, I really like that idea though. I agree with you that I'm not going to do it right now, but I might steal that trick for my blog. I think I'll probably steal that trick for my blog, and then I'll probably try to throw all database operations there and just use that in the other places. At least give me a pool from there. I like that. We're definitely going to do that for my blog. Yep. Let's actually do this really quick. Because if I don't do stuff like this, I will forget. Let's make an issue. Create DB crate to shove all database interactions into. Yeah, I like that. And actually, let's see if I can do this. I think I can. Inspired by this Twitch chat. Nope. Copy. Paste. There we go. Yay! Awesome. I do like that idea a lot, Opus. But I don't know if we're gonna need it right now. But we'll definitely do that for my blog later. That has more stuff going on. And that's the bigger project I was referring to a second ago, where I have multiple things talking to the database. We have my server and we have the byte bot that both talk to the database in that project. If you want, you can always look at how I did my stuff here at your immutable Rust library, though it's a tad more custom than you're probably going for too. Ooh, I'll take a look for sure. I'll pull it up really quick on stream just to do it, but I'll definitely try to take another, a deeper dive. Oh, of course, that still was the create table. Come on. There we go. Oh, it's archived though. That's okay. I can obviously still take a look. Ooh, wait a sec. I'm curious. Is this a... Oh, you put all of your members in source. Oh, that's interesting. I haven't done that. That's super interesting though. I like that. Wait, and then you have all of these things as workspace dependencies? I've never thought of doing that. Does that mean... No, and then you can... Oh, and then in the ones you want, you declare... Oh, that's nifty. Yeah, so like, then here, you can say, yeah, like these ones just come from the workspace, even the ones that are internal, and you don't have to give it a path here. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna steal that for sure. And you're doing... Which I think I probably like, and I haven't always done this, but you're using basically all workspace dependencies. Are you using all workspace dependencies or just almost all? It looks like you're using all workspace dependencies, which probably makes sense, just kind of curious. And I do agree, this is probably a little more broken out than I would necessarily do. But I love the organization of it. Basically just made my own migration library and macro around Tokyo Postgres and DB8. Oh, so this is... Oh, so this isn't even using SQLite. Ooh, that's cool. What's BB8? Just like a connection? Well, okay, I know, I did know that one. Yeah, it's a connection. Originally based on R2D2. That makes sense, because it's the successor of R2D2. Love that. That's nifty. I like that a lot. I think I would like to do that eventually. But I like SQLite at the moment. So we're gonna keep going with that, but I really like the ideas of all that there. Okay, so here's our mood board table. We can cargo run. It should have run migrations already for us, which is pretty nifty. And then like, how do I get this to SQLite, CLI, list tables? You just type tables. That. Opus says SQLX is nice for its compile time checked queries and stuff, but it's a little much for me. Is all. Yeah, no, that's totally fair. And I specifically like the compile checked queries, and that's what I'm gonna probably use it for here. But I totally understand it being a little more, especially, you know, it's fun to build things from scratch. We do that a lot on this channel, so absolutely no hesitation from me for doing something like that. Oh, yeah, okay. That was, I couldn't get the syntax right there. Yay, it's empty. It was supposed to be empty. Awesome. So yeah, I don't really think it makes much sense to create a mood board on its own. So let's cargo SQLX migration create, or it's add, I think. Create, and what did I call it? Picture rating, probably. Picture rating. I did mean SQLX. So now we have a create table, picture ratings, ID integer not null primary key rating. So I don't actually know how I want to store rating yet. Basically we have thumbs up, thumbs down. Do I want to store that as integers with 1 and -1? There's like way too much possibilities there. I can store it as a boolean that's just thumbs up, thumbs down. I really don't usually like boolean columns. Well, a non-null boolean column is a lot better than a nullable boolean column. I really don't like nullable boolean columns, but a non-null boolean isn't awful. And these things are just, we might need some foreign keys, but I actually don't think you can do that syntax. Oh no, you can. You can. Oh, that's a primary key, not a foreign key. Oh, this has an example of doing that. Okay. But I don't even know if I want these. Okay, so we do need an ID. Everything needs an ID. Oh, actually. So we're gonna remove our SQLite database. This is something that I also really like being able to do in SQLite, is like just delete the database and start over. This is gonna be a mood board ID. I'm gonna make all of the IDs in this app be prefixed with the table so that joins are slightly easier. So like mood boards is gonna have a mood board ID and that's its primary key, and picture ratings is gonna have a picture rating ID that's its primary key. Picture rating ID, and the reason for that is like SQLite, I think this is a syntax of their joins, but we're gonna find out in just a second. Join syntax. Yeah, join clause, that'll work. That was not that helpful. Joins, sure, whatever. Basically, I want to. Can I do SQLite join using? Does it have this? Postgres does. Yes, awesome. So I can do using, which is going to be nice. So like you can do a join from table 1 to table 2 using and just give it the column. So I can join between like, well, this is going to need a mood board ID. Actually, which way, what did I do? Mood board, one word. So yeah. And then I can do this foreign key on mood board ID, references, mood boards, mood board ID. Perfect. And then when I do the join, I can just say join on mood board ID. And since mood board ID is going to exist in both tables, it'll do the join without specifying both sides. I come from a pretty Railsy background where that's not the standard. Usually you would just have an ID here, and then on the other side, you'd have like the mood board ID on the reference. But then you can't use the using thing, and I don't like that. So we're gonna name things so that we can lean into the using keyword. Okay, so it has an ID, it has a rating, which this is the thing we need to figure out what to do with. And it has a foreign key. Perfect. Oh yeah, there's also this thing, I forgot about that. SQLite foreign key connection. There's like a thing that I need to do. So you can do the references, but I think that it doesn't actually enforce these. Yeah, in order to use foreign key constraints in SQL, the library must be compiled with, well, not any of those, which I hope I'm not compiled with. It must be enabled by the application at runtime using the pragma foreign keys command. So I need to do this query on server boot to turn on foreign keys. So SQLX query bang, and it's just gonna be this. Execute. Database URL must be set. So this is the thing that I don't love, because I have the nvarc plugin and it knows it, but it doesn't seem like the environment variables are in a place where cargo or Rust Analyzer knows about them. Maybe I just need to reload the workspace? No. Hey Opus, any chance you have a solution for me for this one? He. Totally fine if you don't, and I know, like, you know, you might not because you built your own SQLX instead of using one. But like, I have an nvarc at the root of my workspace, but this doesn't pick it up. Rust workspace nvarc, I don't know, that. And then I guess I want VS Code in here too, right? Or what? Yeah, okay, so sorry, I didn't explain the problem well. Because I'm using the query bang macro, at compile time, the database URL needs to be set. And like, if I go to my CLI here, it is set because I have a .nvarc file at the root that's being picked up. And I have the .nvarc plugin in VS Code set up, but like, it doesn't, my editor doesn't know it, so it just yells at me every time I try to use query bang. Okay, fair enough. Opus says I don't know what nvarc is, to be honest. So totally fair. I was a shot in the dark whether I was gonna get help or not, and that's totally fine. Nvarc is just a way to put environment variables in a file so that in theory you can like put secrets here and then not commit them, kind of like a you know, putting secrets separate from your app kind of thing. And I'm just, the integration between all of these things is just not exactly working for me right now, but that's okay. I'm just reading this really quick, seeing if this is different, but it just doesn't seem like it. Yeah, and it knows how to hop me to it too. Yeah, so I just don't know. There's something about the environment variable stuff that isn't quite working with Rust Analyzer. Their proc macro should autoload .m files. Oh! Interesting. So you think if I change this to a .m file, it'll work? Sure. And so like that's gonna break my editor stuff here, but that's like if it knows what to do. Oh, it does know what to do. Okay. It's Rust Analyzer running the proc macro. That does make sense. It's Rust Analyzer running the proc macro. That makes a lot of sense. Well, you shouldn't be able to unopen to, I just made the database file for you. That one feels like it's not true. Oops, nope, I didn't want to do that. Try one more try here. Yeah, okay. That M file definitely got me farther though. You could always just symlink it so you have both without having to worry. Man, that was a great suggestion. Relative, yeah, and I think that's kind of the problem, right? Is I'm not sure. Well, no, it knows the database file now, right? It doesn't not think I have the environment variable set, so it correctly picked up the environment variable. link symbolic. Oh, I never remember this. TLDR link. Path to file, path to symlink. Okay. Link .env to .env. Yay. Okay, so now we have both. Great call on that. That'll make the tools happy. But I don't think, unfortunately, it's gonna know about the database file. But what's really weird is like, that's a full path to the database file. You should really be able to figure that out, unless it's this. Unless it's this. It's not interpolating correctly. It could be that. Yeah, and so I actually explicitly am trying to avoid the issue you're mentioning, Opus, with local paths, because I was trying to do a full path, but I'm wondering if it was actually looking for a file called, like, you know, $, whatever. It wasn't interpolating the environment variables, is my thought. Yes, look at that. We got it working. So I need to remember that. Why aren't you... It's fine. Diagnostic. Why didn't you help me out there? It's fine. That was the right way to do it. So thank you so much, Opus. That was, I think the symlink of env to env was really one of the things that I really needed. Oh, but now I guess I need to git ignore both of those? That's fine. I don't want, these are both just local dev things. I don't need them in prod at all, I think. So I think that'll work perfectly. Okay, there we go. We're off to the races. I want to delete the database though, because I just don't even know if what was going on in there. But let's go back to our migrations. Yeah, I know there's no database. We'll make it in a second. Mood board with a name, picture ratings, picture rating ID, mood board ID. Okay, how do we want to store rating? I think I'm going with integer. I like integer, not null. We'll do -1 and 1 or something for the moment. Then you can skip with a 0 and stuff. I think that feels a little bit better than being a Boolean, but I don't really know if I have super strong feels about that. Cargo SQLX run. Yeah, thought that would happen. Cargo SQLX create. Prepare. Okay. How about we just do it manually? Haha, migrations applied. Okay. So I think we have enough here to make a commit. Yeah, let's make a commit. Get the DB set up and some basic schema created. Cool. So now we actually need to like do things. So how about on server boot, we create a new mood board. I think we can do that. The reason for this is like, we're gonna do some hacky stuff until we get a little farther, but that's totally fine. Insert into mood boards, name, values of my cool mood board. Execute. Cool. Except can I do returning ID? Yes, there is not an ID because it's a mood board ID. Love that. And yeah, you can't call execute now that I'm returning something. That's pretty cool. So let's make this a fetch 1, I think. Let mood board ID. And here's where, well, I thought that was, yeah, no, I think this is the right thing to do. Yep. So this doesn't think it has a type, but I don't think that's true. So let's actually just print this out. Let's just see what's going on. Debug, moodboard ID, a reference to it because I don't want it to yell at me later when I need to use it. Yay, moodboard ID. Oh, it's a record of moodboard ID 1. Okay, so I forgot. This doesn't return a moodboard, but I can do .moodboard ID. This returns a record that had the moodboard ID. Now it just returns the moodboard ID. The unfortunate thing is that it doesn't seem like my editor knows the type of it at all. It just thinks it's unknown. But I think I can tell it that it's like a I64. And it's not mad at me. What if I told it that it's a string? Yeah, that it's like, yeah, I found an I64. So it's interesting to me that it needs to be told but also knows at the same time. Is it because I could like make it a different type? Nope, it expected 64. So I don't know why the inference like wasn't showing that to me, but that's okay. Moodboard ID 2. Yay, new mood boards. Okay, and let's just keep going. We'll make a new board. Awesome. Okay. So let's figure out what we want to do for routing. Nope, let's not worry about that right now. We have a moodboard ID, and we're just gonna. Okay, so though I'm jumping around a lot, team. Sorry. That's how my mind's working on this problem today. So in Axum, which is the web framework we're using, you can attach a state object to the connection, and then from that, you can retrieve it from any route and everything. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to create this app state. It's going to hold our SQLite pool and our moodboard ID at the moment, and we're going to attach that to Axum. So let app state equals pool and moodboard ID, perfect. And then I think it's, maybe it's the new, is it with state? Yeah, with state, and then we do app state. Oh, okay, so no, it's not, it's the other way around. It's, the last thing you do is call with state, app state. No? Oh, it needs to be clonable. That's easy. Derive clone, and debug. Perfect. Yay, cargo run. Yay, awesome. Okay. So now, any of these routes can know our, can both get the pool and can know our moodboard ID. So let's show that they can know our moodboard ID. So we want to pull out some state. So how you do that is you use these state abstractors in Axum. So we're saying, I want to pull something out of state here. Oops. And how state works is, let's get back to my handler. State is generic over one type, and you can only store one. So I can only store a single instance of app state in Axum. So that's how it knows that when I ask for an app state, it knows to pull the only instance of it that it has out for me. So then we have our app state now. And so like, hello from Rust maybe can just get a little thing at the end for mood board. Actually, let's just, we don't need hello from Rust anymore. Mood board ID. And then we just do app state mood board ID. And then let's do run. This is just going to compile the front end and the back end. I don't really need it to compile the front end because we haven't touched that in a bit, but better practice just to start that way. And there we go, mood board ID 5. And if we keep refreshing, we always stay with 5 here. Perfect. Okay, and then let's see, we restart the server though, and we should get 6. Yay, awesome. So we can pipe in our app state. Okay, so we're gonna have to, like, moodboard ID should not be an app state. And actually, let's just write that right now. This should not be an app state long term. This is just to get started quicker. So eventually this is going to have to be stored more in like a session-y thing, or by the route, maybe you know what mood board you're in, but it's definitely not going to be stored in the app state because we want to be able to handle multiple mood boards in one app. But for at the moment, this just is going to make it a little easier for us. So let's do that. Cool. Okay, so now we have a mood board ID and we have our image URLs. Oh, actually, does our create picture rating? It just has a rating. It needs a URL field at the moment. And then we can just remove the database. Since we're only doing this in local dev, it hasn't been a big deal that we just like, I can delete the database and start over by editing the migration file. Eventually, I probably would need to make a new migration that does this, but at the moment, I don't need to. Okay, so I think I want to do something that like function next image for mood board. And this takes a mood board ID and it's going to return a static string. And at the moment, that's just you doing the random one. So that actually is pretty perfect. Oh, we haven't run that. SQLite. Oh, it's cargo. That's why. Cargo SQLite. Migrations run. Now you know about that file. Perfect. So next image for mood board. I think we're going to use that in both these places. So this is going to be let image URL can be next image for mood board, and I need to give it a mood board ID. So I can do the same thing that I did before. From state, we're going to pull out our app state, which is an app state. Which is a state of app state. And then this can be app state dot mood board ID. Yay, awesome. And then the same thing can be down here in our handler. Need to organize these better. Our image URL can be next image for mood board, and then get the right one. And actually though, I think also what we're going to want to do is next image for mood board might not return one, because if you've rated all these images, you're done and we can't give you one. Oh, and this is actually unwrapping an option for us already, so we can just do that and now it's going to return the option for us. Love that. So handler right now, random image. What should random image do if there are no images left? I don't know. This is just going to be replacing the entire ID with this, so we can just replace it with something else, or just leave it blank. We just leave it blank. If you have an image URL, do it. If you don't have an image URL, just leave it blank. And that's, I think we're just gonna do the same thing right now. If there's an image URL, use it. If there's not an image URL, shrug. And then what we haven't done, perfect. Awesome. But then what we actually want to do in our next image for mood board is we want to do some database stuff here. So let unrated. Oh, wait, no, I guess I want rated picture URLs equals SQLite query bang. I always like the macro version. So we want to select URL from picture ratings where mood board ID is mood board ID. Fetch all. Perfect. Oh, this needs a database pool. That makes sense. Cool. No. Oh yeah, rated pictures because it's called picture ratings. Actually, I don't know what it is called. Picture ratings. Yeah, that makes sense. So just plural of what I have. Select URL from picture ratings where mood board ID is this. Oh, this is going to be an async function for sure. And it needs to return a result of this. A result of an option. One second. Mayet. Okay. I want to finish this typesync, but an error is perfect to read chat. Opus says, I've now made the most simple syntax and language ever, but it does compile. Hey, that's a start. Like we were saying earlier, you gotta start somewhere, right? Love that. Okay, so I can make this return an okay just to get the types happy now that I'm supposed to be returning a result. But now I need to do something with rated picture URLs. So like, let unrated picture URLs, image URLs, iter, filter, where there is not one. Iter.any of the URLs match, where there's not any, cloned collect. Perfect. I don't need cloned here. They're static references. Oh, into iter. That's fine. Because image URLs returns a vec, I can just take that vec. Because it returns a new vec each time, right? Yeah, that's silly, but it's fine. So then unrated picture URLs. And actually, I could not collect this. I don't need it to be a vec of that. It can be whatever it wants to be. We just need to do iterator random. I'm actually not sure if that's any different. Cloned exists, but it's straight bounds. Perfect. Just choose one of them. Nice. Oh, you can push numbers onto the stack, add them, and print them. That's pretty much. Is that technically Turing complete? It might be. I have no idea. That was said in jest, but that's kind of all the functionality you need, right? Push numbers onto the stack, add them, and print them. I guess you probably need a little bit more to make it like Turing complete. You need to be able to like compare the numbers. If you could add numbers and then compare numbers and have ifs, that like probably is enough. But that's awesome. It's fun to build your own language. I've wanted to do that for a while. You're doing a way more low level than I probably would have done myself, but that's super fun. Okay. I think we're pretty good here. Oh, okay. Yep. There's some errors down here because these now. Ooh, interesting. I have to do some better error handling here. Oh, and it's the awaitiness of it. It's both of these. It's await. Now this is a result of the thing. But I still don't think I can do that to it. Oh, there's so many things that need to happen here. App state.pool. We need to actually get the pool out of it. And then I think we're just going to want to wrap the error right now. Because what's the error? It errors, yeah, just like querying the database. So if querying the database fails at the moment, we'll just unwrap. Opus says it's actually easier to transpile to x86 than make an interpreter. Oh, that's funny. I wouldn't have thought of that. You're just transpiling. Is it just, but like probably just because you're at such a low level in your language, right? Your language is pretty close to assembly anyway, so the transpile's not that crazy. That's pretty funny though. I definitely probably would have gone more interpreter style like you're saying, but that's pretty funny. I hadn't thought about that. Okay, so this then is app state.pool. But then it needs an await on it, and it probably needs an unwrap. And by probably, I mean, I know it needs an unwrap on it. Or something. It doesn't need to be an unwrap, but I don't have a way to return errors nicely at the moment. Okay. Cargo run. So now, oh, well, no, not now. So this is technically reading the database and returning me an image that I haven't rated, but we don't actually have ratings built in. So let's actually get ratings built. And so for this, I think we're gonna want two images. We have upvote image and we have downvote image. And we need like oh, and we only have an image URL at the moment. I guess that's what we're gonna send. No, I don't want to send the whole image URL. I want to send like an ID. Like I kind of want this to be like images/1 upvote or something like that. But I don't have an ID for an image. How do I want to get an ID for an image? Eventually this can probably just be like the Pinterest ID, but I don't have that now. I could just use the index in my array, but I don't even have the index in the array super easily. I could get it, right? Like, I could get it. I could write that. Okay, let's write that. This one is a, is it like a reference? Nope, other way. There we go. So like I can do function image ID, I guess, which takes a URL. Nope, not that. Image URLs dot iter dot position of, wait, predicate equals. What's this from? Is that something I can import? No, that's just something from something. Okay. URL, oh, URL equals u. Yes, string with that string, make you a reference? Sure, awesome. Oh yeah, that's a U size. That can be a U size, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Actually, no, let's make it an I64. That does sound nicer. This is also pretty temporary. Oops. To do. Remove this when images have better IDs. Because now what I want to do is over here, I can do let image ID equals image ID from image URL. Actually, I guess I need to do this. I forgot image. Ooh, so here's an interesting one. I could re-render the buttons each time, or do I do something even differenter? I think this is the easy answer first, so I think we're gonna do this way, but I don't think it's my favorite way to do it. Can I like put this in a block? Seems like it. Can I do this within one of these at the end, and it'll concat them together? It seems like it will. Awesome. Okay, so images. And then I want image ID of image URL. Oh yeah, and that needs to be wrapped in this so that it knows that it's Rust. And then this is going to be our upvote button. Cool. And then that will be our downvote button. And now these ones are going to be posts. They're going to be writing some data. And then replaceable image is the thing to replace. We don't really want to replace just the image anymore. We need to replace the buttons as well. Because they have the URLs embedded in them at the moment. So yeah, I think I need a div here. And actually, I can just steal this one. I don't think that did what I wanted it to. Definitely hit the wrong keyboard shortcut. Okay, so we got a div. Wrap all of this in the div. Okay, way too many characters there. Still way too many characters there. Okay, there we go. And we're still going to replace all of replaceable image, but we also need to copy this whole block and put it up in random image, which isn't even going to be called anymore because of how we changed it. But I think I like the idea here if I don't like exactly how I've written it. This can be though images / image ID upvote. Yep. And it's going to be a post. Awesome. Okay, so now if you can upvote things and they will at least give you a new image. It's still not going to write anything yet, and downvotes probably don't work yet. And by probably don't work yet, I mean do not work yet. I have not done that. Okay, so we're at mood board 3. If I click upvote, nice. It is working. Just takes a second to actually get one that we haven't seen yet. Okay. So now let's like do something here, and then we'll do some cleanup in just a minute. So we don't want image URL yet. So first thing that we want to do is write our rating to the database. Sure, upload to the database, that's fine. We need to get the image ID, which is in our URL. So this is a, yeah, it's a path extractor for image ID. Is a path, and this is a I64. Oh, I64. Yes, import that as an extractable thingy. Perfect. And now image ID here is just the variable. We don't need to call the method because now we have an ID, which is better than what we were doing before. Oh, I didn't even realize that. That was pointing to the wrong spot, which means I also have to change it down here. We're gonna fix this in just a minute. Oh, whoa, okay. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we can do upvote, downvote. We need to write to our database. That's what we're trying to do here. Okay. SQLX query. Insert into picture ratings. Values. Oh, picture ratings, and then what do I need to do? Mood board ID URL rating. Perfect. Let's break this up a little bit differently. Oh yeah, that's, yeah, okay. Let URLs equal image URLs. This is then URLs. Don't love this. To do, don't love this for going from ID to URL. But this is all going to be changed when we upvote score. So all of the ID and URL stuff is going to be changed once we have the Pinterest ID that we can actually use. Okay, so we've got upvote and downvote score now. And we're just going to execute this. Is that what I want to do? And then unwrap it? Yeah. I'm not even going to write a comment for the unwrap. We need to get rid of all the unwraps eventually, but we will get there in time. Okay. I should be able to upvote. How many images do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should be able to do this 5 times, and then eventually I'll just get like an empty screen and everything will go away. Upvote, 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 upvote. It's not working right. It's okay though, but it's just not. It's not working right. Do we think it's writing to our database? Yep, it definitely wrote some stuff. Oh, we don't have any kind of unique index on this, so it's just like, yeah, sure, make a new one. Sure, make a new one. Oh wait, while that is true, right? And I don't, and that's the idea of the thing. Well, I do think I want a unique index on something here. I don't think that's fully my problem. Because in the upvote handler, we do this insert, moodboard ID, yep, URL and rating, yep. And then next image for moodboard is supposed to look for ones that don't have a rating. So let's like debug out this right here, I think. Reference to rated picture URLs. Well, okay, spell things right. Debug. Oh my gosh. Debug. There we go. No rated picture URLs. Yeah, upvote. There is a rated picture URL. Oh, but it's a record. No, but I'm doing that right. Yeah. 2. Oh, the same URL every time. Okay. Okay, so why is it the same one every time? I'm just writing this little thing to like just wipe my database for me. SQLite migrations run. Yay! Dupe and swap implemented. Nice, nice. You're making progress. I like that. What is... You're just so low level, right? Swap is swapping variables or is it swapping registers? And either way, what is dupe gonna do? Because you just have integers, right? Let's see. Can you assume what this prints? Question mark 1020 add 5 swap dupe print int add int. It's stack-based programming language for what it's worth. Okay, so we add 10 and 20 to the stack, then you add them. Then I assume you have 30 on the stack, and then you do 5 swap. The swap and dupe, I'm not exactly sure what they're gonna do at the moment. But I'm assuming add is gonna put 30 on the stack. So then you have 35 and then swap. So now is it gonna be 5, 30, dupe. So 5, 30, 30. Print int, nope, I don't. I got lost. Was I on the right track at the beginning? I'm not sure what the printint add printint is going to do at the end. Oh wait, yes I do. Yes I do. Okay, wait a sec. Let me see if I got this. 1020 add, that's going to be 30. So then 30 is on the stack. Then we have 35 swap. I don't know what the swap's going to do. I'm assuming it's going to flip the two things. So we had 35. Now we have 5, 30. Then you have dupe. So then it's going to be 5, 30, 30. Printint is going to read one, but not get rid of anything, I think. So 5, 30, 30 with a printout, then add. So 5, 30, 30. So now 5 is 60 with a printant. So it's going to print 60. So my guess is it's going to print 30, then 60, and then at the end, the stack is going to be left with 50, 60, or 5, 60. I could have been very off though. That was my guess of how to interpret through the stack-based language. Printf does remove them off the stack. Okay, so I was kind of close there though. So it's gonna do... if you leave something on the stack, segfault. Okay, so that was gonna segfault at my... Okay. So 20, 30 add, you have 30 on the stack, you put 5, swap, so 5, 30, dupe, so 5, 30, 30. Printint is gonna take the 30 off and print it. So print 30, and then you have 5, 30, you're gonna add them, you get 35 and you print. So printing 30, then 35. Got it. Nothing left on the stack. I think that's it. Hey, thanks for the follow, Nova. Yes. Opus confirms that I correctly read that stack. Oh, and just for for anyone on YouTube or anything that doesn't see Twitch chat, this is the stack-based thing that I was trying to do right there from Twitch chat. So I'll write this out. We start with nothing on the stack, then we put 10 on the stack, then we put 20 on the stack, then we add them, so you have 30 on the stack, then you add 5 to the stack and you swap them, so then you have 5 and then 30, and then you dupe it, so you have 5, 30, 30. And then you print int, which is gonna, like, I don't know how to signify that, but it's gonna have printed 30, and then your stack is 5, 30 again, and then we add those together, so now our stack is 35, and then we print int, which does the 35. Woohoo! We made it through our stack. Oops. And Opus says that's basically how programming in this language will be. Yeah, that makes sense. Very, very stacky. That totally makes sense. It took me a sec to figure out what swap and dupe we're gonna do, but that makes a lot of sense. Oh, thank you for the follow as well, Dan P. I'm gonna go with AKA Junk Roadie. Okay, Junk Roadie it is. But as always, anyone, if you're hanging out and I pronounce your name differently than you would like, just let me know, and I will do my best to do better next time. Okay. Oh, that's just the double notification. I get 2 notification sounds at the moment. Okay, so rated picture URLs. At the moment, it looks like... Well, actually, I don't even know if I have anything here. Nope, it's empty at the moment. It seemed like these were repeating, so when I go to upvote something, we get our image ID. Actually, let's look at the image IDs here. Are the... Oh, well, gotta start our server. Run! Okay. New mood board, it's mood board 1, but that's totally fine. Upvote, image, 1. And then if I refresh, 3. Okay, so the IDs are at least seeming to be correct. Okay, yep. So I upvote this image. And then this says 3 again. Oh, of course it does. Because my upvote thing uses image ID from here at the moment. Uses the path image ID, which is not correct. So this I want to change to next image URL to make it not ambiguous. And then I want let next image ID equals oh yeah, next image URL map. Oh, this is a function. I do have an image ID function, but I've shadowed it with this. But I can unshadow it by making this the current image ID. Current image ID there. This is actually just going to map the image ID function that I already have. So this is now an option of... Oh, yeah, but then I have an option here. Let's just not do that. Next image URL. So we're going to do image ID, the function on... Oh, just image URL, because we got rid of the next there. Perfect. Let's do the whole wipe my database thingy. Let's do the run. I like that. I like calling run. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes! Woohoo! That should have done exactly what we wanted it to. Select star from picture ratings. And we have a pixel rating for each of our URLs. Love it. Okay. What did I change to that file? Just curious. Oh, I added the URL to it. Yeah, that was pretty important. It needed to have that. Okay, so we can rate things now. We can upvote images. Now let's get downvote working. And then after that, we're gonna clean up a lot of this, because to get downvote working, I'm gonna do the very ugly thing of just copying and pasting this entire blob of code. And this is now gonna say downvote. Don't need the comment, I don't feel like. Downvote score. Oh, downvote score. Perfect. Yeah, nice and easy there. Copy paste for the win. So since I have a new mood board, I get all the pictures again. But now I should be able to downvote them all and get rid of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Oh, and since we still have that same mood board until I restart my server, all the pictures are gonna. Nice. So let's add some. Actually, no. Let's clean up, and then we're gonna work on adding some extra stuff here. Downvotes were easy, but not clean so far. Okay. So the first thing that I want to clean up is that everything's in one file. Let's stop doing that. Let's make a mod called views. Oops. Create our module. Remove these. This is just different cleanup, not related. Oh, come on. You're not going to remove those for me? I feel like you should remove those for me. Okay, but now we have views. And actually, I don't know if I wanted it to be this way. Delete you. Mod views. Actually, I'm gonna do it this. Do I want to do it this way? I might want to do it this way. And then I want a mod for, like, image. I think I'm just gonna call it image right now, or like, it's just gonna be image. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm doing the views mod inline, and then the image is gonna live at views image. I could just have a mod.rs file here. I don't know. I've been experimenting with different ways, and I think I like this one. No, it's there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now it's happy with that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, the goal here is to make a component kind of thing out of the picture and the vote buttons. So we're gonna make a struct called voting image, maybe. I think that's fine. And it has a few things. It's gonna have a image URL as a string, and an image ID as an I64. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna write some impls for voting image. Let's do the other part first. Let's do impl, I think it's render. Impl, let's look at this. Moud, that's the thing we use for the render trait. I was right. It's just, it didn't guess it for me. So Moud is the thing we're using for that HTML macro. And one of the cool things is this. There's a render trait that I can implement for various structs. And what we can do is in here, we can use the HTML bang macro and basically just write a little view for this voting image. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna copy and paste this. And actually, we might call this a replaceable image. We're calling it replaceable image because that is what we called this ID here, and that seems to make a lot of sense to me. Self dot, and this is just self dot image ID. Awesome. That needs to go one over. That's good. Perfect. Okay. So now, what we can do here is instead of rendering this div, we can just make that struct. So yeah, replaceable image. Like that. The only thing is that I think I need to make some things public. So I need to say that public, public. If I was doing a library and not a application, I might care more about how I'm using these public modifiers. But I am not. I just want everything to be accessible anywhere in my application. So we are just going to throw some pubs everywhere. Oh, yeah. And then these are actually, so that's the next thing I was going to do. I could make these public so that you can just set them, but I don't actually want to do that, I don't think. I think I'm going to create some helpers to create this with. So impl for replaceable image. And I want like a function new. If you just have them both, that's fine with me. But then a public async, it's not async, public function from URL. And it just takes in an image URL, and it does this with image ID. Does it? Yeah, and then I can just import that from there, pass the reference in, and we can have from URL. Perfect. So this one is going to use that new from URL thing. From URL, passing it image URL. Too many parens. I don't know what that was for. Expected string found that. Oh, let's actually make this a reference. Actually, let's make this anything that can be into to string. Anything that impls into string is image URL dot into. Let image URL equals image URL dot into. This can be that. Borrow of mute. Oh, yeah, okay. Let image ID equals that. Then we can just do that. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So now I can just do from URL here, and I can get rid of this whole thing, all this whole div. So if there is an image URL, do replaceable image. And actually, let's add one more thing here. Let's do a pub function from optional URL. And it actually doesn't go to that. I don't really like the type signature Copilot just gave me. It's an option on the self. And it's basically let image URL equals image URL and then let image URL. So we're just going to keep changing image URL. Actually, no, now I just want to pass this through. Some self from URL. Oh, and I just didn't spell option right. What we're saying here is that if you give us an optional URL, we will return you an option type of our self. And the idea here is that I think I can just do replaceable image from optional URL and give it next image URL here. Oh, it does not exist for this. Option does not know how to render. Okay, that's fine. We're just gonna tell it then. So impl render for option of a replaceable image. Implement the defaults. I don't need render 2. Its default implementation is great. So then this is, we'll probably just use the HTML macro here, and we're just going to do this we're going to do that. Only trace defined in the current crate can be implemented for types defined outside the crate. Oh yeah, I can't write this. I forgot about that. We're hitting an orphan rule here because I don't own either the render trait or option. I can't do this, even though it wraps something that I do own. So I guess we're not doing that. That's fine. I really thought it would be able to do optionals. It feels like it should be able to render options. Splices. To show or hide something based on a Boolean expression foo. Optional attributes. Can I do chain surrounding this to a that? No. Okay, so it doesn't seem like I can have optionals all the way through elements, I guess, right? Implicit div elements, classes, empty attributes, control structures, branching, looping, variables. Oh, you can actually create variables inside here. Oh, that's interesting. I forgot about that. Partials. This is just that. Yep. I wonder if there's a reason that they don't implement that. I agree that context-aware escaping is very important, especially for the, but it's a complex feature. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I really think it should do this. Exists for reference of this, but its traits were not satisfied. Does the following trait bounds were not satisfied? Yeah, okay, so it just option doesn't implement render or display. Okay, yeah, it's not that exciting. So we're gonna go back to this. Yep, that's fine. So now every time I want to render this optional thing, oh, this is an upvote. Oh, cool. I didn't realize we were in an upvote. That's fine though, just didn't realize. So then in downvote, we can use the same view here. And then in here, this is where we're going to want to use one slightly differently, I think. So this is going to be replaceable image. Oh no, it is from URL. It's the same thing. We only needed from URL, which I think actually means I can just get rid of new. Also means I can probably inline this function. Use the default value directly. Perfect. Awesome. Let's just inline. Can I just tell it to inline this? Yes, I can. Love that. Delete surrounding that. Aha! Man, I love when I actually know how to use my editor well. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so this should be a nice div. So our main got a lot nicer. We created this views thing, and we know how to, we're pulling something out of it. Oh, this is just unused now. Love that. Can I just delete it from here? Yes, I can. Oh, I actually still want to keep that to do though, so let's do this really quick. To do, this is not how IDs should work. That's okay for now though, but it definitely isn't right. So image ID got inlined somewhere else. Next image for mood board is some database interactions to find something you haven't rated yet. I can push this whole thing to the database, can't I? The answer is yes. Yes, I can. Let's do that in a second, just because I like pushing things to the database when we can. And then here, what we get to do is this just indentation? Oh yeah, it new lined everything. Okay. So here though, instead of having the whole replaceable image with all of the stuff, we just get a call replaceable image. Same here, and then same one more time down in the body. So now we just don't have to repeat ourselves nearly as much, which is awesome. Get a view pulled out. Okay, let's push that logic that I just talked about into the database, and then we might actually get pretty close to wrapping up for the day. Just because got a good bit done, and we're almost at a 2-hour stream today, which feels good. But what I want to do here is that next image for mood board. So this is doing some like exclusion logic where like it looks for things that you've rated and then like finds ones that you haven't rated based on that. Oh, I can't push this to the database because the full images don't exist in the database. I was being silly, but let me talk through my thought anyways. What I was gonna say is I can just add to this where clause to exclude I was thinking that I could do this all in one select, where I could do like select from images where not in rated, but like that's not how it works because these aren't in the database. So like I can't ask the database to give me these image URLs. It doesn't know about them. So the best I can do is pull the things that I've rated out. Oh, get rid of this debug statement. And then from that, we can look at the image URLs that we know about in the app because that's the only place they live right now. Find something that isn't rated, and then you know, do this choose thing down here. Just to pick a random one. So that actually is going to be the same. So let's actually just do some organization here a little bit, I think. I think I want a database module so that I can put stuff like this in it. This is pretty databasey. Let's put it in our database module. This is going to need all kinds of imports, but that's pretty okay with me. I don't like that it doesn't know how to pull that out. Why don't you know how to, like, found for enum in the current scope from trace can only, yeah, like I know. So like give me my import. You know where this is coming from. Silly thing. This is what I'm looking for. Perfect. Okay. Next image for mood board. Oh, I need to make it public. Public. Let's qualify as database actually. Let's not make a new one there. Qualify. I don't really have a great reason for that. It just felt a little nicer to do it that way. Awesome. Okay, so what if I want to wrap some more stuff up though? So like right now we know how to do this replaceable image of like the next image, but what if I wanted more? Like, because we're grabbing this image URL thing the same way in all of these. So what if I wanted, but is that a view? Is it a big deal if views access the database? They can, right? There's nothing stopping me. I have like, there's not enough separation of concerns here where I couldn't have a view reference the database. The question is, do I think that's a great practice? I don't always, but for this type of app, it's probably just okay. But I'm not positive about that. I need to think about that more. This might actually just want to be replaceable image though. Did that do the rename for me? I think it probably did. Yeah, awesome. So like, do I want a pub mod next image? Like component almost? If I call these components and not views, it doesn't really feel as weird to me that they do interactions, because that's coming from like a Reacty thing where a component both renders and does stuff. And so like maybe that's fine. I do like things being more together rather than separated. So I think this is actually fine. Views accessing the database is great. Not great, but it's I don't think I am going to explicitly care. So next image. And I think this is just gonna take in, oh yeah, I was gonna have it take in app state, but I think it should just take in these things, and we'll give there be a convenience method where we can go, yeah, that's what we'll do. So to make a next image, there's a public function from app state that can just pull the things out of app state. Is cool copy? It must be copy, right? It just kind of must be. Oh no, it's close. Well, yeah, but this is just copying it. Yeah, it must be copy because this is just working. Actually, I think the better answer here, because like I'm saying, I'm not caring about public-private too much here, is just to make app state public. Cool. Okay, so now what I want to do here is impl render for next image. Yep, That's fine. Implement that. Implement the defaults. Okay, what does render do here? It needs to do a few things. I think the first thing that it needs to do is get an image URL. So we get an image URL. Oh, there we go. We hit our problem. Render is not async, and to do databasey things, we need it to be async. So I don't think this is how we want to do it. I don't think we want next image to be a view. Problem solved. Delete it. Oh, whoa. That was a not the right keyboard shortcut for me at the moment. How about that one? How about we just right click and click delete? It'll be okay. There we go. Okay. I think actually what we want is we just want a new way to new this up. Public function next, and it's called with app state. And it returns a option of self. Does it return an option of self? Yeah, I think it's got to return an option of self. And actually, this is an async function. Yeah, which means it's going to return a result of an option of self. And this is where we want to do, basically this. It's not exactly that, but it's close to this. We want to get the next image URL. Use myet result. There we go. This does not want to return this. Wait, next image for mood board. Yeah. Okay, now I just want to do a self from optional URL next image URL. Expected result. Yep, that makes sense. Love that. Okay, so now I have this next thing, and now what I can do, oh, but that returns an option. So like, okay, let image equals replaceable image next with app state. Next actually doesn't need an app state. It can just take a reference to the app state. Oh, it does not implement copy. Got it. That makes sense, but it's clonable, so we'll just clone it. A reference to app state, and then if let some image equals image. Oh, yeah, that's fair. Dot await. Okay. Oh, nope, that isn't unwrapped because we are in a web handler that doesn't know how to handle that very well. So that's perfectly fine. Okay. Replaceable image next app state await unwrap. I don't like this. I really want to just be able to render an option type. I really just want to be able to render an option. Optional concatenation. Yeah. Okay. I didn't see anything about it, but I would really love to like not need this and just be able to do this directly, but we're not there yet. Oh, I can do this though. I think. Let's find out. Can I put an await inside the macro? Yeah. Yep. I can put an await inside the macro. It's fine. Cool. Well, actually, I guess, is it fine? We'll have to find out at some point. Cool, so this is how we get the replaceable image. This is probably what I just need for this then. It's just the same thing, right? Yeah. Oh, and I haven't done the one at the body back down here yet. And we don't need image URL here because it's gonna grab it from where it needs to. What are you mad about? Oh, we don't need a macro. We were doing a macro in a macro. We're already in an HTML macro. Cool. We're still working? I assume so, but let's find out. Nope. Where's our failure? Oh, we just got rid of that. Okay. We're on mood board 4, but that's okay. Downvote, upvote, downvote, upvote, downvote, and we're done. Love it. Let's check out the database here. SQLite 3, select picture ratings where mood board ID equals 4 and rating equals 1. Select, oh, yep, that's fair. Star from. Cool, we upvoted 2 things and we downvoted 3 things. Love it. So actually let's do it a little bit differently just because we can. Rating, no more and we'll do group by rating. So this is rating and then count of star. We downvoted 3 things and upvoted 2 things. Love it. Okay. I think that is pretty good. Actually, what have we done in this one? There's probably more than I think. Oh, we created a database module. We pulled out next image from mood board to a function on replaceable image. Awesome. We are gravitating to more view/component type things, and moving DB operations to their own crate. Not crate, module. We might end up with our own crate. That's what Opus was saying and does in some of his projects. So we might end up with that, but for the moment, we're gonna make it a module. Okay, so now let's look at our plan doc and see what we did. Done on second stream. Which ones of these did we do? We did create a SQLite database. We did store the ratings in the database. And that's it. We have not deployed the app. We definitely haven't done this because it requires it being deployed. We haven't really made a better layout. We've made better code so that we can make a nice layout eventually, but we haven't got there yet. And we definitely haven't done LightFS because that's database related. Today we worked on getting a SQLite database set up and working with saving picture ratings to the DB. Now you can upvote or downvote any image, and it will be saved to the database. We are currently just creating a new mood board row for each DB request, or for each DB each time the server boots. This is held in app state at the moment, but won't be long term. We created a very basic data diagram. Can I just link to this? Yes, I can. Invite anyone to collaborate with you. For read-only links and embeddings, use embeddable links. Embed link. I think that's what I want, right? Yeah, okay. Create a new link. Ooh, choose starting area. Oh, okay. Don't know what that means, but that's a fun one. Zoom out. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Data model. Choose options. None of these. Copy read-only link or embeddable iframe. Read-only link. Perfect. That's fun. That's really cool. We don't have any user stuff modeled yet, but we will get there. Okay. Is there anything else that we thought of wanting to add to our tasks that we didn't? Get today's stream summary written. That's basically what this is. Was there anything else we wanted to add to our plan doc that we didn't get to this time that we want to do next time? I'm not coming up with anything. We definitely have the data diagram, and I guess I can add this, right? Like, let's add some steps here. Figure out user modeling. Yeah, user modeling and authentication. That's pretty important. I might do that next instead of deploying it. It doesn't really make sense to deploy this without getting that done. Ability for a designer to create a mood board. Oh, and then we also have all of these things about integrate with the Pinterest API for retrieving boards and pins. So the idea eventually is that the mood boards, like the list of pictures, is going to be seeded by a Pinterest board, so that you can just link a Pinterest board basically and have that be the starting point for this list of images. This hard-coded list of images is just a temporary get us off the ground thing. Add some tasks for next time. Tasks for next time. Okay. Oh, gotta click the YubiKey, and it's pushed. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up here now, but let's do we got some good wrap-up stuff to chat about. So if you want to check out the repo for this, you are more than welcome to. It's on my GitHub, and the repo is currently moodboards. So github.com/CoreyJA/moodboards will get you to the repo, and eventually once there's an app to click on and play with, you'll be able to get there from here as well. And before I wrap up, I want to point out some new stuff I added to my blog this week. So if you are just finding me and want to find some of my past streams and check out some of the projects I've been working on, I have this new projects tab in my blog, and you can see a list of the projects that I'm currently working on. And actually, we're going to have to add a new project entry for this mood board app. But let's say you're interested in my blog, so my CoreyJA.blog. You can now see all of the streams that I've done in the past that reference or worked on the blog. So you can click to any of these and get the YouTube video with a short description. And so you can explore different times I've worked on my blog, or different times I worked on the ByteBot, or SnakeGPT, the Gossip Glommers, challenges from Fly.io. So I'm going to keep adding things to this project list, and the UI is going to evolve here, but I really like the organization. So if you're interested in some of my past projects, please check out my blog at that's not how you spell my name, CoreyJA.com/projects, and that'll take you right here. And then you can pick on which you're interested in and find all the streams. If you just want to see all the streams, just click on the streams tab and you'll get a nice long list of all of my streams that I've done in the last over a year now. So even we have a year and a half almost of streams uploaded here. So got a good backlog if you're just finding me and want to explore some more. And with that, I think I'm going to get offline for the day. Thank you everyone for coming out and hanging out with me. I always have a lot of fun. And we're making some good progress on this mood board app. We did a lot of back-end databasey stuff this time. So I think next time we'll try to hop to the front end and maybe make our views a bit better and go from there. Though I guess we might also need the Pinterest the Pinterest API integration. So we might do some more back-end stuff next time. But that's okay. We'll get back to the front end soon enough, I imagine. So with that, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you so much, team, for coming along. If you enjoyed, please give me a like and a subscribe on whatever platform you're watching on. And if you really enjoyed and want to keep helping me produce these videos, head on over to my GitHub profile and give me a GitHub sponsor. You'll get a special access to the Discord sponsors only channel if you do. So if you really enjoyed, please consider doing that. And with that, I'm really going to get out of here for the day. Thank you everyone for coming along and hanging out with me, and I'll see you around the internet next time. Thanks. Bye.